short term, who knows? We're all looking for a bottom in everything short term. But long term, I feel like we're still not over the hangover from the party that ended in 2006. Structurally, we're still short of housing. We have low inventories. We have increasing demand from younger generations that want to buy homes, and they're not there. Mortgage rates have soared in record time. I get it, right? Pricing has to come down to balance that out. I get it, I do. But longer term, people got to live someplace. And we know historically, I forget who it was that was telling the story about, I think it was Scott Galloway. He was telling a story about how, hey, look, honey, mortgage rates got below 10%. Let's buy a house. When you go from whatever it was, 2 something, below 3 basically, to 7, it sounds really bad, and it is. It does damage. We all acknowledge that. Historically, are we really that bad off? I don't know.
Do you take any view on Bitcoin right here? I think you started getting interested a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Yeah.
We were in, it went up, and then it started rolling over, and we were out because I thought a store of value in a currency doesn't go like 5x and then get cut in half. And I was like, I got this one wrong maybe for now. Over time, I just want it to work. And in the short term, we hit that what was it, June 16th bottom, and bonds and stocks have violated that bottom, but Bitcoin has not. And we've seen these articles about the volatility coming down. Hey, fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
I hope this is when it starts working as a really good store of value. These are my prepare, don't predict stocks. Like, they're the ones that I think, if I am right, and even I don't want me to be in my bears, honestly speaking. And I keep making long picks. People don't realize this. It really is true. I really don't want you to sell great stocks, and I really do want you to hold cash and gold and silver and stuff. And I think these 10 stocks that we have in this are going to do, no matter what interest rates are, up or down. I think they're going to do well. If we get a sideways market for 20 years, like we saw after the 29 thing, after the .com, when the NASDAQ went sideways for 15 years. So if on balance, my bearish fears come true, I think these businesses are going to do great. And there's gold and silver related equities in there. There's renewable energy in there, and there's insurance, which is, I think, a wonderful inflation play, or not. Insurance is going to do great as an inflation play. The asset values go up, the premiums go up. It's great. So there's a lot of stuff in there that you actually might not expect to protect you in inflation. And to me, it's like inflation or not. I just want to be prepared. I make these predictions, but people don't understand. The predictions aren't the words. The predictions are when the rubber meets the road and you allocate the capital. That's your prediction.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I talk about all this stuff that I think is going to happen, but I hope people hear me say, I don't know if I'm right or not, and I hope I'm not. But when the rubber meets the road, I'm still making long picks. And yes, I'm telling people to hold lots of cash. Yes, I'm telling them to hold gold and silver. But I'd probably say hold gold and silver anyway, and make sure you have some cash if we find a great bargain. So I'm just turn the volume up on a couple of the pieces.
What is your elevator pitch for gold, silver, why you should have that in your portfolio?
It's been a great store of value for not just like 5,000 years, but like hundreds of years, and in the last several decades, and in the last couple of decades. Like, it's proven itself over every reasonable time frame, in my view. You're right, we're not going to live for 5,000 years. So what it does over 5,000 years, but the point there is not, like the point there, you can make fun of that if I'm saying gold's been in a bull market for 5,000 years. That's why that would be silly. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying for 5,000 years, it's been a great store of value. And it's not, I forget, was it you? Somebody used the word investment about it. No, it's not an investment. Not at all. It's not, you buy a bond or a stock, and the hope is that that thing is going to generate, let's stick with just stocks, that thing's going to generate excess cash profit, which is then going to create a return for shareholders. That's what you want. That's an investment, okay? There's a return there. The fact that people criticize gold, Buffett does this too. You dig it out of the ground and it just sits there. That's its job. It's an inert metal. That's why it works doing what it does. We used gold from the end of the Napoleonic Wars until World War I for a reason. That was the century of deflation for a reason. It worked. The only reason we stopped doing it is because they wanted to print money to fight the wars, right? So we might still be doing it if they didn't want to fight World War I. And since 1971, it's a 50 bagger. This century, it's beat stocks, if you insist on calling it an investment. But every time I say that it's beat stocks this century, I have to step back. You just said it's not an investment, and it's not.